Ever wondered what is the meaning of the word sovereignty? You know, a lot of people, the new agey stuff, free choice, freedom of expression, the general notion of freedom to basically indulge in a person's egoic tendencies is often misperceived as freedom. But the word sovereignty is not about individuated egoic freedom. The word sovereignty is an expression which is quite loaded. I think it basically means that we are operating as agencies of the universal design, and we are governed by universal laws even in a man-made matrix world. So, despite the fact that the collective conscious or unconscious is operating on an egoic and man-made or established format, the sovereign individual is functioning from the universal format within this man-made format. He is not dictated to by the usual ego response to life, which also implies that Darwinian state of mind about survival or survival of the fittest or the selfish gene or any such thing, because the sovereign individual is operating from a state of beingness which is not necessarily at all clouded by an insecurity toward his own survival or a mental kind of bottom line approach to life, or seeking dominance through control. To the sovereign individual, operating from this beingness, which is channeled through the universal mind, any act is towards the larger. It is not self-serving necessarily. So, sovereignty is to be in a state of freedom from this whole man-made paradigm and delivering something of value within it. It is valuable, it is high value for the larger. And a sovereign individual is not shackled by the neuroses that has conditioned us, human beings, to function from a state of being which is derived from self, the individuated small self. To hold sovereignty is to see things very differently, is to be able to have the eye which can see and immediately translate the suchness of a situation. Previously, I can say that when I was in the process of establishing my sovereignty within my own self, I would give that benefit of doubt to a person, a situation, an experience, which could be also against myself, in a kind of generous move to give the other a greater leeway. But now, as this aspect of sovereignty has begun to stake its claim in my existential space, it's become more clear, and thus one is not clouded by borrowed insights, by so-called social generosity rather than spiritual generosity. So the way to becoming sovereign once again boils down to being true, to being true, to being authentic, to making all our errors, to living the drama of the conditioned self, but always to be aware about the drama and its useless aspect and useful aspect, which can be milked and taken forward. Sovereignty is not something overnight. Sovereignty is derived through the nature of experience and one's own interaction with it. What we need is the spirit of truth. And keep whittling away at our own inconsistencies, at our own irregularities, at our own delusions and illusions, and borrowed softwares from the education system, from the social system, and finally arrive to an oasis which is not about compiled understanding. It is about real-time insight on anything, where one is not looking for empirical or proof-driven, scientific-minded approaches, but is given to understand by the instrument of intuition, connected with the universal beingness. May all beings be aware and become awake to this potential in themselves. Sending love from the Himalayan ranges, from a very peaceful pastoral mountain hill. This is Om Bhairavi. Stay blessed. Om Tat Sat.